It isn't going into present. There it is.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, good. All right, so this is the monthly meeting of both the Life Member Affinity Group and the Consultants Network of the Central Texas section. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining. Just the boilerplate here. The Consultants Network exists to promote members' careers through professional and societal networking. And we will publicize your skills if you let us know about them on our website. And the Life Member Affinity Group is for people, first of all, you have to be 65 years old. If not, we won't consider letting you in. Then your age plus your number of years of membership in IEEE must total at least 100. And you don't have to do anything else. You become a life member at that point. We also host monthly meetings. We're a little bit broader in the things we'll talk about. Sometimes it's technical, sometimes it's general interest, and we're open to go on tours. And just want to put out a call for help. We really are eager to hear from you if you have a burning topic you'd like to hear about, if you know about somebody who would like to talk to us, give us their name and email address. We'll take it from there, getting them signed up. Suggest topics such as, technology, finance, history is okay. Even for the life members, it can be a terrific tour that you went on, and show us your photographs. We'll consider something like that if it was interesting, a place of interest to many people. And for life members also, an important thing is coming up in Austin, April of next year, 14th to 16th in the Hyatt. This is going to be the first ever life member conference. So this is not just Central Texas, this is worldwide, I think. Worldwide, is that correct, Kai?
Yes, about 37,000 people can be coming, but we shall limit to 300.
Right, if a few hundred show up, we will be very ecstatic.
Right.
It'll be at a hotel downtown Austin, Hyatt Regency. So for those of us in Central Texas, it's less expensive because we don't have to pay to stay at that hotel or to travel to town. But we really are interested in having volunteers to help run the event. So mark it out on your calendars, please, so that you can go down there, help us out. You'll get to hear a few of the talks. You get free food if you volunteer. And yes, it's great. And then coming up for our monthly meetings, we've got in August a Mach 5 jet. I can't see all of that because of the way my screen is. Whoops.
Okay. Hermes, the company name.
Hermes, okay. They're developing, so this is hypersonic. This is meant to be a commercial passenger aircraft, if I understand it correctly, that goes at Mach 5, which gets you to Europe really fast. It'd be interesting to hear how they plan to make this economically feasible. Then in September, risk-based high-performance computing, October, biotechnology topic. And then in November, we will have a lunch, free food. Again, not bad. And this is where I turn the meeting over to Kai.
Oh, yeah. I just read this article from McKinsey a few days ago, July 16, news release. It said what CEO needs to know about Gen AI. So it's actually advice management people, the people at the top, that you really need to know about this new technology, because you'll mean about 2.6 trillion to 4.4 trillion value that will add to all business, not just one company. But you want to reach for, then you need to make some cautions. So because there are dark side and the light side of the coin, two sides of the coin. So that's a they usually have a bunch of information about that topic. It's by McKinsey. They have 3 different subgroups. Probably all of you know that McKinsey is a major consulting company. They advise business, technology company, consumer, whatever. That's already available. So they can over some advice, they can make a buck for the consultants. And please, next page, please. So tonight's topic, generative AI, new tools and applications. You'll be a kind of a conversational piece, and Elizabeth Quintanilla of Marketing Gunslinger, that's her company's name, and she'll do an introduction about the topic, and maybe we can have a compare notes and do some conversation, and she'll do a demo. And probably some of you know her. She was a young engineer when we were much younger. She joined our computer society, and then active in that group for a while. Then she got an MBA and doing her things, marketing consultants. And she advised technology company, real estate, health, and others. And so she's part of that group. She's not a good networking person in Austin. She knows a lot of people, can give you a lot of good advice. And the next page, please.
It's just housekeeping.
Okay, just housekeeping. Okay, and the floor is yours. You can unshare, and Elizabeth can share her screen. So about the conference next year, April 24, 26. No, 14 to 16, 3-day event. So we look for volunteer, and hopefully you can invite your friend to come here. And if you have some our town friends you want to invite, April 8th is the sun eclipse day. You can have a very good location to watch the sun. So along the belt across Texas. So from Waco, Austin, Dallas, and San Antonio, those are a good place to watch. You're some our town friend or our country friend, then the time to invite them in. But that's it. Okay, that's my part advertisement.
Oh, man. Well, thank you all. It's a pleasure to be actually here. Found out I was speaking 2 weeks ago, maybe a week and a half ago.
Yes.
And so, yeah, but I enjoy a good challenge because I have been speaking on this topic quite a bit in small groups. So this is the first room that I'm going to be speaking with people that are a lot smarter than me. I actually still use a lot of my engineering because I consider myself more of a systems. The thing is, I talk too much to be an engineer. So that was always my 6-month feedback. So that's why I went into marketing, because I was able to solicit requirements better than the average cat. So basically, AI is nothing actually really new. So, if it makes it into South Park.
Were some as, however, there were say I'm very with the great 40 industrial peace, World War, Poland, and the change security.
So you can
neoliberal perspective.
So you can see here, if it's made national TV on South Park, it's already here, and you just haven't realized all of the implications. So ChatGPT is like Kleenex. So it's just the biggest thing that people are talking about, but there's been around for a little while longer. I can also show you this one, but essentially, I actually found it absolutely hilarious since I love. You can use ChatGPT also on your phone. And people have been actually using this to figure out, like, I don't know how to. Basically, in this episode here, about 10 to 15 minutes of the South Park episode was actually written by ChatGPT and animated by the audience. So for my presentation, just raise your hand or interrupt me if you have questions, by the way. So. Why is it not voting? Okay. Stop share. Restarting the presentation. One moment. So. Going back into, here we are. What made me more interested in this was actually, at one point in time, I was figuring out, different ways of finding ways to publish on Amazon. And so I'll be sharing some other things, but essentially people have been creating little bots and using the language models for a while. So they've been actually having plugins into WhatsApp and other things here. So if you never know what to actually say to someone at a networking event, especially when you're dealing with the young people who are more used to texting than actually speaking to a person, their chances are they've been using these AI tools longer than I would actually say I have. The question is like, well, what else can we do? And so the very first thing here is the AI has actually been fulfilling a lot of the early 1930s, 40s age of science fiction. If you actually think about it, what is really our cell phone these days? It's actually, this is almost what we were using or seeing on the original Star Trek. And they were always saying everything here, but now we're doing everything through our cells. So we just call it a cell phone and not a tricorder. It does have our biometric data, by the way. So in that sense, it does work as the doctor. But basically, I would say DARPA funded it as AI in 1963. And then in 1997, it defeated the world-renowned person in chess. And we actually had autonomous cars. If we go back, you can see the first autonomous car was actually 1986. And now we're using them in Austin here at between, I think, the hours of 10 a.m. and 6:30 in the downtown area. So you're now seeing AI taxis, which is really weird because you don't actually have a wheel in the car. So I'm still not ready to get into that taxi personally myself. But the real thing is I would say the language models, which is where everything popped up. So the image recognition and the language has vastly improved. So now we're seeing this hockey stick spike in AI and AI usage. So now what's really going to be interesting here is with so much, and one of my personal concerns, because we talked about the dark side and the light side, is I have so much content out there as me or any influence it's there. Everybody can actually capture my voice and also capture my image. So now you can really have Max Headroom, which was the AI screen head in a box, and that is actually reality. So now it's going to be interesting. So how do we verify this is actually me in my recordings? But besides that, you've actually had AI and Siri for recognizing your speech on your phone for a long time. And chances are you've used in the past, if you've ever gone out on a hike or whatever, and taken a photo of a plant and say, hey, what is this plant? That's been the image recognition. So in the background, it's been processing Now it's the question is how can we use it to elevate? So in business marketing, which is my area of specialties, it's like, how do we, sometimes a half a person is all you get, is just a half an FTE for a small medical practice. That's all the marketing that they have, is a half FTE. So how can you get things done in a real way that people see, especially when it's a really flooded market? And so using this AI technology, a lot of the things that I've been recommending, especially on the B2B business side, is actually nurturing relationships. So using AI to initially craft messages and then create a sequence campaign in LinkedIn. So a lot of those LinkedIn messages aren't written, but aren't necessarily written in the moment. They've been carefully crafted using AI, and then hopefully a little bit personalized beyond the first name, and also set into a sequence. So we've been using lead scoring and in Salesforce and HubSpot, depending on, do you click on this or that, you get a point, and then you go into a certain email sequence. Now we're using that within LinkedIn. So a lot of it's also on delivering the promises. So you can actually go on YouTube right now and also see how to program your own chatbot. So it is possible to use AI on your website now and have that be your actual customer service or customer success, your initial customer success anyway, before they transfer you. And because all of this is trackable, you can actually see. And a lot of the game for how do you rank in Google and everything else, it's very critical actually, because a lot of the stuff that I'm doing right now is search engine optimization, that even if it's crafted in ChatGPT, Bard, or whatever the latest one you're using, you spend some time looking at it. And I just saw the chat coming in. So, thank you. Basically, you have to write it to look like a human. The very first thing when I was starting to use this tool is I realized how wordy it is. It's like going in back in high school and you're supposed to write a 500-word essay, but it writes a 500-word essay at a C level, aka it's 500 words, but it's not that good. But most people are overwhelmed on what content to write. And so some of these things are clickbaity to get things there, but you're wanting to make sure. So for examples are, common things that happen in Austin. We don't want our pipes to burst when we have 6 days of frozen. So how do we do this? How do you save on taxes? And because you're hosting an event, how do you increase event attendance and some things like that? So using the tools to answer the content. Basically, I can do very simple prompts. And this is an example of a simple prompt using the ChatGPT 3.5 versus 4.0, aka the difference is the web access without all of the extra bells and whistles. So ChatGPT 4 does have access to the web and web results, and I do pay for extra, but the language that they programmed it itself is actually pretty good. So if you do professional taglines for a Millionaire Mastermind Club, here are interesting taglines. And then you can actually now use it to say word description. So anybody who does search engine optimization, the meta description is about 160 characters, but you also need an about page, a summary page, this page, that page, references and things. And so now this is what it generates. But you can see, I'll have to move all the boxes of heads. So you guys are moving over to my left now instead of the right. Getting my red pen out with this raw data. I mean, okay, it sounds good at first, but then when you look at it, it's like, this is very, very wordy. And I don't know about you, but as a human being, I'm just looking at this and I'm like going, okay, This sounds better than what was written by originally when I started my business in 2009, which is when I became a consultant, because that's what happened. And yeah, you just kind of go, I used to hire people from the Philippines to help me write content, and now I don't have to because I got ChatGPT. So in this sense, I would say, yeah, I don't have, the people have to step up in the Philippines to provide service, but they're still doing things. Like I have friends in real estate and they do a lot of yellow letter marketing. So if any of you guys have houses that are suboptimal on the outside, chances are you're getting a yellow letter that was actually crafted by the Philippine guy who works for a real estate investor and did the mail merge. And so all he has to do is print stuff and send. So, but yeah. So it's really easy to upgrade. So you sign up, you go to ChatGPT if you haven't there, and you create that. But I would recommend, upgrading to Plus. I get absolutely no royalties in this, by the way. This is not an affiliate link at all. So no money is provided to me for this upgrade to Plus. But you can see in my demo later the difference between 3.5 and 4. And it'll change actually the results. Another thing to be aware of in ChatGPT, over the usage of time, it gets to learn who you are. And so my usage of ChatGPT will be different than Phil or you, John, or anybody here in this room, because I'm like going, it knows who I am. And so it'll adapt. In fact, I don't mind sharing dating stories, even though it's a group of mostly guys here, but you guys don't ever like to be overwhelmed by text messages and the annoying girls. So I actually said, ChatGPT, how shall I handle this message? And then it ended up being like I spent more time being involved and distracted by ChatGPT and so therefore I didn't annoy the guy. That guy didn't last more than 4 dates, so it's okay. He wasn't really worth the time. So, a lot of the questions, and I get this later, is like, how do I develop content? You got the who, what, when, where, why. Basically create a story, answer questions. And if you don't know how to use more than who, what, when, it's like, there's always the, how do you feel about this? Tell me more. Is this your only concern? So these are actual questions I said I use in ChatGPT. Maybe not the field, because ChatGPT still doesn't have a soul, but you can tell me more for sure. It's being used by realtors all the time. So this is my friend who's a realtor here in Austin. He handles more Williamson County as his territory, but basically he was asking, if it was planning to take over the world, what would it say? At least it's nice. So don't be afraid of ChatGPT or any other AI. Be more afraid of the humans using it. So please be ethical. So I have a friend who's a doctor, and we had a great conversation. I believe it was Tuesday, and she's more into the emergency room, minor emergency. And she says that a lot of the ChatGPT stuff that's generated, if you go back and forth in questions, it's not a good thing to self-diagnose. You still need the doctor, but for basic things in health and wellness, okay, less sugar, go exercise more. Here's the body diagnose, blah, 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 blah. But if you were just using it for critical things, it's still not accurate. And that's one of the things is when you're writing these white papers on technology, since one of the companies I'm working with right now is in the smart grid and in the smart metering space. So AMI 2.0, things like that. I have to make sure I have a great relationship with the tech team because the stuff that I initially used to draft in ChatGPT may not actually be accurate. So it's well worth to see that. But, that's one of the things is the accuracy of the underlying stuff that it's coming in. also, there's a lot of things in the news, so I'll show you examples of different things of my email. So we're going to have a large chat, so don't worry about the demos. Oh yeah. Okay. Basically, yes, I will share how to upgrade, how to do it. I'm already in the upgraded plan, so I'm glad that the chats are just sending me a little flash at the very top of my screen. So ChatGPT has no personal stories. I don't know about you, but if you say write a sermon on something, it'll write it all right. But the problem is it doesn't, invoke emotion. So a lot of the marketing is about invoking some form of emotion by now. So there's a lot of content that we need to write as marketers, and it's actually kind of scary, some of it that has to be done. But basically, it's like you can now automate some of the direct messaging so that you can do that. Facebook ads, their landing, all of these things require writing. And it doesn't matter if you're a medical practice of 10 doctors or if you are, let's just pick on let's see, who's the big one that everybody is like? Covert. Any of, Covert is a car dealer here in the Austin area, and they're branching out from everywhere from Bastrop to, I don't know, all the way Georgetown. So it's like all of them and all of their locations have their own Facebook pages. They all have to be managed. And sometimes when you're doing a lot of other things, you don't have time to write this stuff. So all right. You have already pre-written content, so you've already been used to it with LinkedIn. So obviously we have our LinkedIn search results, and so you can congratulate, but it already has that. But now there's other tools you can do. I'm not personally using them because I didn't quite like it hooked up into my LinkedIn, but I don't mind basically using ChatGPT or Copy.ai or one of these other tools to let me have something there. So I was like, hey, sweet. So instead of just say, congrats, Laura, congrats. Da, 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 da. Okay. You can have a little bit more. And some of this is there. And since ChatGPT knows how much I love coffee, I'm actually staring at my empty coffee cup. It can write that for me. So I gave this presentation to a sales program, and there was their goal. And so basically, here you go. This is the query. And so if I was going to send a message in a professional tone, write me a congratulations to a LinkedIn contact, Eric, on his new job. That way I don't have to say who it is, blah, 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 blah. And so now you can say, okay, ChatGPT, dear Eric, doesn't this give you this warm fuzzy? Wouldn't you actually like to read this message on your LinkedIn message? It's a lot better than I can save you money on the latest car insurance or whatever the policy is that they're sending you. So I don't know about you, but I'm getting spammed by a lot of insurance agents and retirement. So, but yeah. So things that you're never thinking about, but how long would it take you to write a congratulations? And now you can do it and say, it's so much easier to edit than it is to create. And so finding ways to use ChatGPT specifically for the creation. But I also want to say you can use it to write scripts, but then there's other tools out there that will take, and I think there's the newest one I've seen on YouTube ads lately, where you can give it a keyword and it'll create a whole presentation on essentially Google Slides for you. So you can go from start to finish literally now with AI and create a 20-30 minute video that ends up on YouTube. It's not good, but it's there. Was someone going to interrupt? Because I thought I heard somebody. Okay. I work with a lot of small local businesses. So here's an example of how to use ChatGPT for local search. So part of my practice is dealing with the moms and pops around Austin and also now in Houston. And so literally the skipper I was sailing with last year. So for those who don't know, I'm now some people got PhDs during the pandemic. I decided to become a sailboat racer, and apparently I got good enough to compete in a class there. So that skipper owns a auto repair shop, and I was trying to figure out how to get him a better ranking. But now you can use locals, here to figure out what is a good local search to put this in here. So this would actually come into the Google Pack up there. And what will it take? So for those of you who wanted to see, this is still a basic snippet. So I hadn't gotten to the complicated snippets yet, by the way. So there you go. I have a lot of open tabs to go through tonight. And so in these open tabs, we will talk literally about the prompts, because it's the prompts that are gold. Literally, I wouldn't have taken the job because that job was 100,000, but it was 100,000 in San Francisco. That's a lot different than 100,000 in Austin or Houston. So when I look at it that way, it's like, meh. But when you think about it, it's how do you do this? So I was just saying, create this Google snippet. Now, acting as an enthusiast, write a short prompt. You can ask it to write the prompt and to blog about this. So here we are. And he's like, you set the persona, you told it what it wanted to write, what was the purpose behind what the content is writing, and then you create the audience. That's actually the framework for a great prompt. So you give it more than produce 10 social media posts. That doesn't do as much, but then you say, hey, act as a professional land surveyor in a conversational tone, provide 30 social media posts using these keywords and hashtags, and also in the third column, put a suggested image to go with these tags. And that was something I literally did yesterday, because one of my clients is Greatia Geomatics, and they're land surveyors at the commercial level. So, this is how I can supplement and do this really quickly. So I see something in the chat. Okay, for the literally, okay, I don't mind saying it. In Houston, I'm normally in the J105 class. So that's a 10.5 meter, 34.5 foot a boat that's a sailboat. And over here in Austin, they have J70s, J80s. But what I actually sail on my own, because I have my own boat now, is a centerboard, but it's a 4-person centerboard from 1978, and it's so much fun. So, but I've just made a reputation. So, yay. Okay, now we have the other one. I don't see having ChatGPT draft articles better than if I do. Yeah, it's not that it can do it better than you. It's just that I have a time crunch. And so sometimes these paragraphs, it's more about, do I have 15 minutes to write something that goes out to social media fast? I've got to do, or do I have to do 100 meta descriptions in a day? And if I have to do that, that's when I'm using the AI tool. And then I can edit. I can say that I'm a better writer than ChatGPT. I have no doubt that Bruce, who wrote this to everybody, is a better writer than ChatGPT. It's the question of what is our time to value. And sometimes when you remember that at most, and they're extending their marketing budget, that medical practice, because their marketing is really only a half-time FTE. And so by having me on board, I'm literally training their admin or someone like that, and they're spending extra budget. So they're trying to find shortcuts or how to train this person that's a half-time FTE to be more efficient. So did I answer your question, Bruce, or not? It's okay. You just let me know in the chat. Okay, cool. All right. Mhm. Literally, one of the places where I like to find use cases is personally, I hate finding jobs on freelancer .com, but this was a real posting and I wanted to see if I could find her. And I'm just wondering if somebody else who had access to ChatGPT from somewhere, anywhere in the country, but this is a person in Los Angeles who was looking for a freelance writer. And so I have a thing set for a freelance writer and seeing, but I'm like going, okay, write this prompt. And so this was literally based on an example that came out of this, because I would kind of sort of expect, you know, an administrative person to be able to write their own description. But, you know, when you look at the upgrade, you would have a whole usage of all of ChatGPT Professional for less than what you would have paid for this one writer. So, and chances are the person, whoever they hired, is going to use ChatGPT. So, I got to find where I haven't been getting a lot of their prompts lately, but I use this prompt actually quite a bit. So, you know, today's prompt is create social media content for 7 days that is focused on land surveying or 3D scanning or other things that will engage title companies, oil and gas executives, other people who are involved in subdividing land. So commercial real estate or then blah, blah, blah. And so here it is, you know, and then you can actually expand this column to be dates of posts for the course of a month, the post itself, you know, and you can have motivation emojis, hashtags. And then in the third column, the ideal image. And the reason why I'm saying the ideal image is we've just been talking about the writing. Anybody who knows my artistic ability, it's not much better than Hangman. I'm really serious. My artistic skills probably lean more towards, stick figure art. So anyone who's actually gone to my LinkedIn profile, I have a great little video that I was able to create using a bunch of tools. So ChatGPT, Night Cafe, which actually aggregates a lot of the Mid-Journey and Stable Diffusion and a couple of these other image generators. And then I used another tool to basically render it into video. And then I changed it up a little bit because it's actually my voice, but it was actually fun because I was able to turn myself into a chipmunk. So I'll do that as a demo here in a sec. So Easy Metering is a company that I actually work with, and Amir is actually one of my friends they're both coming to the Digital 360 conference, which is smart grid stuff over there. So take this LinkedIn profile, scan it, see what it is, and then why would anybody do this? And so it just generally says, here it goes. So, and then I've been able to tailor this because this company was actually founded in Ecuador. And so their English actually skills are subpar for the most part, but their technology, what they write in Spanish, so converting their Spanish content into English, they just weren't aware of how to market into the United States. And so showing them, training the team, they're actually quite talented. But AI is actually now everywhere. And so I'm in a trial. So with Google, some of you in Gmail may see this new button pop up if you accept to be part of their trial in Gmail. And it literally is a button that says, help me write. And so then I can click on this button in my Gmail and it says, write me an introduction. So now I don't even have to go into ChatGPT. I'm using one of the Google model versus ChatGPT OpenAI, but it's still there. And so makes my life easier. In fact, Wix can now generate a whole complete website using AI. Is it good? No, but gone are the days of making $500 WordPress sites, is what I'm telling people now. So now you got to figure out how to do something more. So we're all elevating ourselves and our things. So now I tell people the real goal is to be an executive producer, because now you got to think of a project from start to finish. And it's actually now plausible for me to create my own Saturday morning cartoon series on YouTube. So it's a project I'm thinking about. Okay. There's a lot of other little tag-ons and tag-ins, so you don't even have to think about all of these prompts. You can now have plugins to Google Chrome, which is AIPRM. And inside AIPRM, they have these pre-built prompt models. I'm always looking at different ones, so I'm not promoting this one. It's just that this one has a very active community and a great email. And so now they just say, hey, here's with the prompt, use this prompt, question topic, here it is. And then it gives you titles, subheadings, advantages, and it goes through. And so now you really can create long form content. So gone are the days of flimsy content where 300 words would actually rank and everybody was making the game now 1,000 words. But as Google gets better of seeing what was AI generated content versus human generated, it will know. And so it'll fix that in its own algorithm for search results. So don't worry, this game won't last long. With this, I'm just going to do a 2-minute break. Does everybody want a 2-minute break or a 5-minute bio break before I go into a demo? Because I need one. Is that okay with you, Kay?
Yeah,
Like-
okay, yes.
Okay. So I will be back in 2 minutes.
Okay, great.
And then please put chat questions in the chat box, and that way I can answer them inside when we do the demo.
Louis, can you talk? Okay. I think she's answered most of the question that's been posed. Yeah, I believe you have answered most of the question, all the questions that's been posed so far.
Yeah, I hadn't answered the numbers, but basically it's producing results and references. So it's essentially like for its own thing is like, this is where it pulled its data from. So then you can annotate that and see what that page actually says. So when we go into this live demo, we can say that.
The only question is how much more money you need to put in for the Plus program? Check GPA.
$21, $22. I forgot what the tax was.
A year or a month?
Month.
Okay, all right. That's
Yeah,
fair.
that's what I said. It didn't make sense what she was actually hiring a freelancer for. To
Right,
me, yeah, it would actually be, if it was like somewhere like 50 or 60, I was like, I don't know. There's a lot of other ones out there too.
Yes.
Mhm. And especially now that this AI is being incorporated to the other things. So we might create a Wix site for IEEE here in a sec. So just so you can see what it's like. But yeah, okay. Yes, if you are going to, that's one of the things that are up and coming, like what is the ethics? What are the rules for ChatGPT? I'm having a hard time keeping up with all of this. So yeah, I do want to acknowledge where I use AI, but some of it is if I, especially if you're going to be writing, publishing to Amazon. Yeah, I want to say that. But a lot of people, like when you're doing social media content, small form content, I would even say drafting a white paper. Most people don't use that. But if you don't change it, if you're just taking AI, so here's the part when I do this demo. So let me go ahead and escape this. Let me see if I can drag you guys down. Sorry. Good. Sorry. Let's go back to the right slide. Okay. You're seeing my whole thing and I have to just get you a little bit there because right now I have a lot of things open. So you can see right now, I'm just going to go ahead and show this. I have a lot of extensions on both browsers right now. So AI Content Director tells me if it's there, obviously best. I will show what GLASP is in a sec. Some of this maxai.me helps you use the prompts and find the prompts. Web chat has a bunch of other things there too. So when I go into, that's Open Chat GPT, and here's web chat, and then here's the another open chat, and then this is the content director. Obviously, this is Octopus, which is one of my tools for automating LinkedIn. So the reason why I'm using some of these extensions is for one specific reason. I'm having way too many tabs open. It's thinking, it's waiting, it's loading. There it is. Now it's loading. You can see here, you can compose an entire book with one click. Literally. So first, before I get distracted, so please hold me accountable during these demos to answer the questions that were answered, because I do have like an ADHD brain. So currently, I'm already paying for it. In my settings, you can click on This Is Me. And I have my plan. And it tells you which is your plan. So it's $20 a month. And you can manage your subscription. So I'm set to monthly. So then it'll tell you blah, 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 blah. And you can cancel the plan. So if you're not really using this for a lot of things, you don't have to pay for it. But I will say I have noticed a difference between 3.5 and 4 in the results. And then if we use Bard or I guess it's called Llama, you would also have it there, but you would use the same prompts no matter what. So by default, you're in 3.5. And they're right. It's great for most everyday tasks. So also, I will go through this. I haven't played with all the plugins, but I want to make people aware of the plugins because I know you guys do different things in marketing. And so with these other plugins and as IEEE consultants, especially if you're doing coding projects, ChatGPT can generate source code. And with ChatGPT 4, you actually do have a code interpreter. So we can go into that in a sec. So there's different features. So one, you will have access to all the plugins, where in Chat 3.5, you're not. The other one is when it's overwhelmed and overloaded, if you're not a paying customer, you're not getting access to it. So I realized I used it enough where I need access to it when I want it. And then plus I want to be able to access the plugins. So now it's switched over. So by including inside with my extensions, this web chat GPT one-click prompts, these are just a fast way of doing it. There's other places where you can get prompts. I just wanted it plugged into my Chrome, and so that way I could work on it. So yeah, okay. So yes, it does generate source code. Apparently it's a junior programmer level. So just keep your expectations, but as it gets better and as they fix that part of the models, it'll get better. But yes. So yeah, that was the thing, is like you can check your code and run your code in ChatGPT 4. ChatGPT 3.5 doesn't allow you to run the code. So I used to know Python, Patrick. So glad to know that it does work, does do that. Back in the day, I had to use Python to plug things in together. So let's click on this one. Okay. Compose a title. Let's see. Let's create a sarcastic book. In a satirical style. Here's the subject of the book: Python programming for marketing professionals. Run this prompt. Do, 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 do. It's thinking. So now it's thinking. So literally, this is going to be the prompt that was generated here. Create a book using keyword English. Oh. We got to fix this. So that's the first time. So copy this over. Cancel. Copy. Click the right button. Stop generating. But obviously it's doing that. Da, 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 da. When in doubt, move you guys over to the left. See if it's getting my tone. Obviously with demos, it's the wonders of demos. So open up my drive. Just want to be able to move you over. Create a new Google Doc. Move you guys again. Close this. The Untitled. see if it's actually. I don't want to save and submit. See if it'll let me just do it here so that way I don't have to. Fix it. This is why I was going to use the English, the Google Doc, because that would have been better. So that in here. Thinking. Obviously, it's telling me it can try different things. So even your Google Doc has AI built into the writing. But you can see, instead of writing a bunch of prompts, it can do it all in one. So Mhm. So let's see. Copy. Visiting tools. Yeah. Then replace. Replace all. We're not saying this is a high quality book. We will see. We will make the judgment here with the Python programmers if this is a good book for marketing professionals like me. Oh, cool. Now you were wondering what are all the citations. So it's pulling things out of some book named Springer for Python for marketing research and analytics is the first one. The next one is another book. He's a researcher. Papers. If you needed to summarize PDFs, it does do this. Here it goes, Introduction to Python Program for Business and Social Science. Now, why is it doing it this way? Mm, So I'm glad there's a back channel. So while letting that run, oh, okay. Just because it's being bad. I can also. So in addition to, if you have to support multi-language for programming, it can also write this in other foreign languages because it was trained also. So if I needed to write this in Hebrew, this will do it. Okay, let's see if this is a better way of doing it. Well, okay, new chat. So here I'm just gonna show some of the Wix stuff while I'm waiting to go back. But Wix now has AI built into their system. So when you're typing in content, even for the little boxes, it can generate the content. There's the website generator. And you'll have your whole new website produced by Wix. You can add social accounts, you can add things. I'm just gonna hit the next button. But this is, sure, your guys are gonna be sophisticated. And it's literally gonna create a website here in about a few minutes. Now going back to the initial demo. There you go. Chat 3.5 was better. Created the chapter titles. created the introduction to each of those chapter titles. And then it's literally typing in the book. Then I can continue generating until I have a complete book. And it's doing all of this. And then I can use another tool called Designer or some other tool and have this be on Amazon. So it's still thinking here. So other things that I wanted to share, you know, one of those things that you were seeing is, here it is, AIPRM. So basically find topics, sort. So for you guys, they have DevOps, productivity, software engineering. We have to use this in all of the writing content too. Just make it more efficient, make it more succinct. And so it gives you examples. So if you needed to have, not waste time creating the initial prompt. And then other things that I'm using everywhere. So anywhere online. So if I'm here, because I have this extension there, it'll help me literally with the by having it there. So when I'm writing an email, I have the Mac. What did it do? As usual. So that's what this one tab was about. I'm just going through all my tabs to make sure I cover different topics here. So we did this tab already. We were talking about plugins earlier, so you can, I'm still exploring all of these plugins, by the way. But now it's literally plugged into, you can plug it into Expedia and Kayak. This is one I'm going to be needing to explore soon, because you can imagine in the world of wherever you are, especially in B2B sales and sales enablement, how many case studies there are from competitors. So basically pulling out the data from competitors so I can create my own white papers and case studies is how I'm going to be using that. Link reader. So summarizing search results instead of having, Bing, because at one point OpenAI had Bing, now Bing pulled out. So then now comes along linked reader. You can make restaurant reservations. And so here, if you just do the Google search 10 best chat GPT plugins, everybody has a different opinion on what are the best plugins. So, but this is where I find it to be, this one was interesting. So they have a lot of third parties, which are the web browsers, which is the one that there's the code interpreter ones. Now I can generate the images. So, and now these are the other ones that allow it. So one of the things that I'm going to be, as a personal growth for me would be expanding on Zapier because I did a lot of Zaps in marketing. And so seeing what else I can do. So this one, I can just put it inside. I'll just go like this and I'll put it in the chat. For you guys, because I thought that was a good article to share. You guys are awfully quiet, so here's the official list from OpenAI. You guys will probably be more interested in seeing what you can do with the Wolfram and all of the language apps. And literally there's new plugins being added every day. And so, and how to create this. So this one lets you find out how to access all of these plugins. So if you're going to play with the plugins, this is one you need to access. Yeah, we're not going to wait for this one. I think you're getting, everybody has an opinion. And this is where I pulled this information from for you guys. So I'm going to close the next few tabs. So since it's all about the prompts, this one is also worth knowing because it has literally the curated list of all the resources. And it's also, this is one of the places where I go for prompt collections. So if you're wanting to learn how to craft the prompts or leverage the prompts, please spend some time here because this is where I started to geek out. And you can see where I say it's like marketing use is very, I call it very baby programming. But you kind of have to have this brain since there's lots of different types of marketing. Here is another great article. It's been updated since of July. And it tells you also the video generators, the art generators. So we can actually have there's something called Beethoven, and you can actually now create your own music that's royalty free. So you know what? I need to get that good deal on plugin. I'm wondering if there's an actual email, I think Matt's travel deals. So if you look at that one, basically, I'm thinking he's using AI to find the best deals online. But I thought this is worthy of sharing, so here we are. So, yeah. Pictory. I'll log in, but basically this allows me to literally create the videos that that are there. So this was actually the core tool of doing some of the music and pulling in different frames for my LinkedIn video. So if I go to my LinkedIn page, which by the way, everybody, just if you're going to connect with me on LinkedIn, just let me know which event you saw me at. I'm happy to accept you and add you guys to LinkedIn. So my main reason why I started geeking out on this is literally trying to create that was I didn't read all of that, but here we go. I'm going to go to this post specifically, but this was I just created a public service announcement where I use ChatGPT to create this and create this character. And so I have this idea.
That mean girl is just giving you a
Literally, it created the script.
hey, hey. Roxy Foxy. I know you're a bit down, and that mean girl is just giving you a frown.
So the music is actually
You got
from
a
AI.
friend So cool.
It
They're just
picked all these
to feel like they
frames.
rule. But the truth is, they're just feeling small, insecure inside. That's why they're acting tall.
And what the innovation is like, you can start to actually animate between different photos. So if you have one scene to the next scene, you can now use AI to generate your own cartoons. Not necessarily with this tool, but with other tools. And so I was just using this as an example more for, but yeah. And that's actually my voice. I just went ahead and uploaded the voice to the video because I actually recorded it in GarageBand and sang the whole script, but just speed it up to sound like a chipmunk. So that was my trick on the voice because I just didn't find the right voice. So other plugins, because you can see how often I have to do things in marketing. So transcript and summary, that's what that here. So I don't have time to watch everybody's videos. So now I can open up any video in YouTube and AI will give me the transcription of anything. So it's running. It's loading. And there you go. There's my summary. And any of us who are interested can learn more, or if you have to be the one who has to write all these little YouTube descriptions, this is not a bad start. Then you can do this literally using Glass and ChatGPT. So that's how I use those two tools. It's a Chrome extension, yes. Glass is a Chrome extension. So it's literally this extension. So you can look for it there. But by adding that extension, and the reason why I have it here is there's another tool for YouTube search engine optimization. So YouTube being the second biggest search engine, you know, behind the original Google, is vidIQ has its own version of AI tools. And I use that vidIQ AI, which is built into the product in Firefox. So I wanted to keep the two separate because I basically use this as one of my tasks. So that was that. I don't know what this was. Oh yeah, here we go. If you can't come up with keywords and titles, you know, here it is. So, you know, did I mention that we have in marketing ADHD? Now you know why, because we have to come up with all these titles. And so now they're all the tools that were used in marketing. So CoSchedule is a scheduler for all of these posts and things. Now we can say this. Okay, topic, AMI 2.0, audience, utilities, and energy. Informative and professional. And now it's running. Fine. Do this again, reload the page. So don't feel like you have to pay the $20 now with everything. It seems like all of the tools that we're using are now incorporating some form of AI. You just don't know if it's ChatGPT or if it's Bard or if it's what. And so now it's given me all these titles. And it doesn't matter what it is, here it is. So I might actually keep this tab open and recommend it for future blog posts for easy metering. But yeah, now it's, there's literally, here are the winning prizes. So like they ran a contest for prompts and steps to identify and resolve issues. So a strategy plan for small business, you can now run that. Now you can have a comprehensive strategy. All of us who need to have a human optimized press release, you can use this to write the basic press release. Still has to be edited. So I'm just sharing complete website structure in one click. So okay. See if I can copy this. Okay. And you can see I can continue to generate. But you don't have to have them. I'll just go to GPT-4, see what it happens, see if it's working for me now. Oh, did it ever finish? I think Wix got hung up. So while ChatGPT and Wix are both rendering websites for IEEE, I'm just showing some other things that I have as open tabs for you guys, so you guys can be aware of the breadth. Okay, this is this tab was supposed to be 7 questions to basically figure out your marketing needs. So interesting to me, may not be for you guys, so. Mid-Journey, and basically we haven't discussed any of the photo rendering tools, but that little fox anime girl was generated, I think, using Stable Diffusion that you saw in my LinkedIn profile. So creating the right prompts on that. We're gonna go hop over to Firefox where I do some of these things. So promotional posts, I'm using this to create the basics. So a lot of the reason why I'm able to do zaps, things is because, you can still hire an intern to do your social media, but you're going to get it at an intern level and you're trying to craft the messages inside with zaps and sequences. And so that's where part of my special sauce comes in. So, but in order to do that special sauce and you don't have an intern, it's elevated my game to use AI. But if you're trying to come up with content and you're trying to figure out how to answer questions, so here we go. So let's see what ChatGPT came up with. Okay, here's what your website should be according to ChatGPT. So looks actually pretty good, not bad for a hierarchy on a website. Going back to Wix, it's still thinking. Oh, it's now coming up with options. So okay. Basically crawl, exact, summarize the text. So if you have that, and Okay. Let's see, did Wix? All right, I'm gonna move to Firefox so Wix can actually finish this job. Because normally it's a lot faster, but I'm wondering if it's me just switching between tabs in the same browser. Let's pick this. Oh yeah, this will save you so much time. Whoever Gray Abbott is, that little extension was worth your 2 hours. So, okay, while we're waiting on Wix, I'm just saying some of my ideas that I got, I'm totally a lurker on Reddit. Okay. Why are you doing this to me? This is being the perfect demo. Don't you love demos, John? I see John is the first one. So,
Demos always go well during practice, not so much during the actual presentation.
yeah, this is why I'm like going, it's like, here you see me just hitting these buttons now, so now it'll think. Because it's normally faster. So, I literally did this for an upcoming real estate conference. I just picked conference, so I could generate the whole real estate conference website. So, but yeah, so ChatGPT is actually a really good Reddit. And, oh, that's so funny. I'm gonna use that as like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna use, I try to do funny memes.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, this one's coming out tomorrow. I'm just saying. Okay. According to Stanford, I'll just have to hit save on that one because I might have to sit or read that later. So this is actually a good one. Oh, here's the, I should put this prompt in the chat. I hope you guys are, I don't think you need all the extra tracking. So if you wanted to figure out the rules, this is another one for, basically, this is literally who is a persona, what do you know, some things that has steps, goals, format, and everything. Okay, so this is also an entertaining one too, by the way. So, and other people are basically creating AI tools. So you guys are the programmers. You want to make a lot of money fast, create an AI tool, get subscriptions. Even Phantom Buster now has its own AI where I can automate my link. It'll write my LinkedIn messages for me. So I don't even have to think anymore. It'll get the message and send it out. So move the chat. Okay. I just had to taste it. Did I do it? Okay, I took it off. So. Yeah, that's just. Prompt Genius. Yeah, it's but it's a word. I still subscribe to it. So I think I had this. So it basically created 10 messages. More. Okay. Not going to do this. If you guys, I think this was the article, what is generative AI? So you already mentioned this earlier.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, so if people needed the link, I left it open. I'm trying to figure out what I did with the chat window, but I'll just open it up again, the chat. So I'm trying to be conscientious of your time, so I could spend it doing more demos. So for those of you who are exploring different ones, I kind of like this one, Night Cafe, because it aggregates the different ones. Oh, let's see what, I'm just curious what it's come out with. Oh. Hey, you were blue before. Let's pick this one. So Night Cafe is where I created these images. I'll do maybe later. So some of them are good. Some of them are not. I kind of like the bear. The bear is pretty cool. Manly bear mechanic who likes tacos. You can tell what kind of fairy tale I'm creating later. So, and then here's the fox girl. I don't remember what I was trying to do. Okay. So this was just a good article about designing, and design is being disrupted. Websites are still rectangles. Here's the guys are making money now by selling you a 9-step. Okay, download now a free 9-step AI chatbot video series. So woo, I kind of like try to pick up something cool. If anything, I get to learn how their landing page works and what is their sequence in email marketing afterwards. So I sign up for this sometimes just to see what they are. I follow a bunch of hacker literally things, but yeah, this is a full tutorial. So I don't want to ruin my thing there, but this is vidIQ, by the way. That was the thing I used for YouTube optimization. So, but basically this is a full tutorial on how to make low content books and upload them into the Kindle. So mostly my low content books, what I want to write is children's books. So basically here's like, how do you use AI to enrich the data so then you can end up sending better messages. And no chats. Let's go back to see what. Okay. Sure. Sure. You need organizers. You need a contact page. Do you guys have sponsors? Sure. Welcome to IEEE Central Texas, your new website, produced by Wix. So it can quickly edit. You can change the pages. You can do everything like you normally do in Wix, but now it has everything there. You have your website. Now you just tweak it with the direct content that you need. So going back to here, if I go this way, I can list all my tabs. There was a thread on quick tips on prompt engineering. So this one came out of Prompt Genius. This one actually wasn't a bad thread, so I don't mind putting it in there with you guys. So, in fact, it is so good. You guys will see me bookmark it and come back. And I'll just say prompt engineering, and I'll save it for later. So you've been hearing me mention other things. So there's Bard, there's Claude, there's these other things that are out there. So I can't remember. Oh, and if you wanted to, and I should get around to it, but you can, chances are, I'm going to take this landing page and enter it into ChatGPT so I can figure out what are the best 10,001 free ChatGPT prompts. I'm not going to actually spend $150 on this course. I'm just going to have enough pages on this thing, and then I can figure out what he's actually teaching. But if you guys are interested, I can put this link here as well. So with that, I'm just trying to figure out what were these other things. Okay, so somebody wrote a beginner's guide to autonomous agents. So if you guys wanted to see this video, you know, the role of customer support is definitely changing. I don't know what's going on with my, oh. This one was where I got one of the slides. So if I go back here, that was the autonomous agent. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing because I feel like I can just blab. And I haven't had a whole lot of things in the chat right now. So is there anything that you guys want me to cover, like how to use the audio or the photo rendering or more of my bookmarks, and I can post them here? The other thing I can show you is some of the newsletters where I'm getting things from, because basically I subscribe to about 20 different AI newsletters. I don't read all 20 AI newsletters. You know, I'm thinking I'm just using Bard when I'm using other tools, and I don't realize I'm using Bard. Like, you get your choice. So whenever I'm having to create original content, just because the way I have my workflow set up, I'm using ChatGPT. But when I'm using it to auto create things in like Gmail or other tools, I'm thinking they're using a different language model. So that's really the only thing. I haven't gone in and tried the same prompt in every tool. And I haven't seen any plugins either for Bard yet in some of these other ones. The plugins right now are for the OpenAI. And yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's a lot of information that you provide. So
Well,
probably I can capture them from the meeting chat. I will post that with along with the video so that people can go back and look at that. Or if you have time, maybe send me a list of maybe your top 10 ChatGPT plugin or something that you frequently use, so we can learn as a beginner, or for those few of us who are beginners. But sounds very interesting. You can write a book. Actually, I'm thinking writing a children's book for 10 years old, maybe 5 to 10 years old, maybe good. A good tool. you feed the right information.
Yeah, well, if I'm going to write a low content book, I'm going to write the right low content book. It's for a kid.
Right. Yeah.
But find the rat who has a bat under the mat.
Oh, yeah. That's something that right. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I'm not about to say that I'm the author of the Python programming for marketing professionals. No.
Yes.
You see,
All
this
right.
would be a good thing for teachers to use in the lower school levels for content.
It is. What's to answer your question, Gray, I don't know if I have the right and correct answer but now that it has web access, so it has access to everything now. So it was programmed up until 2020, but now with the 4.0, it has web access, especially now with the plugins, because you'll need to have the up-to-date plugins for Kayak and the up-to-date information for Open Table.
Yeah, just read an article from Hong Kong newspaper that one high school start using AI, the ChatGPT for the student to use, so they can judge those content are good or bad, or when they get into a workforce, they will use those tools anyway. So teach them and let them know how to use.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm learning from the people younger than me because I'm actually a Gen Xer. And so even the millennials now are, adults with kids. So it's like it's like, I want to know what the kids are using and how are they using it? Because sometimes they're the most innovative.
Yeah. So the school I talk about, kind of small school, I don't know the name, but they teaching maybe between 15 to 18 years old, in the high school area. So
Yeah.
there's a start in
So, well,
from the audience. Any other questions that you wish to ask?
thank you.
Yeah, me too. Thumbs up. Great.
Yeah. So basically, to keep up with AI, I subscribe to a couple of newsletters, and about 20 of them. And sometimes I don't have time to read all 20, but if they have an interesting title or a headline or something, I'll click on the article. And it's just the funny thing is, if you spend 15 minutes or 20 minutes staying up to date on how people are using it, then it's there. And then finding a personal project. So for me, it's the kids' books and figuring out if I can create my own YouTube cartoon series, and then that would be fun for me. So that was my use case originally, and then realizing how I can use it for work.
You'll have to ask ChatGPT to summarize for you all your newsletters.
I can.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know how hallucinations work. Sorry. Sorry.
Yeah.
I never took those magic mushrooms. Sorry. Wrong era. So, yeah. Well, anyway, if you guys have any questions for me, oh yeah. Okay, got it. Now I got the context.
Yes.
Yeah. The language, so check the accuracy of the results.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right.
Connect with me on LinkedIn, message me, smoke signals, email.
Yeah, her information in our website, so feel free to contact her or refer some client to her. She's a great marketer.
Now you know why I use automation and other tools.
Yes.
Okay.
I can tell you a story about hallucinations. I asked Bard a question because I was dealing with a technical problem where I was making a mistake, but I was convinced that something had been working with a server in Azure in the past, and all of a sudden it wasn't working for me. And I did all kinds of research, Googling all over the place, trying to figure out what could be going wrong. And I finally asked Bard, I said, did Microsoft change something in Azure that broke this feature? And it came back and told me, yes, they did. They're working on a fix. In the meantime, you can try these two workarounds. And I said, when did this happen? And it told me a date. It made the whole thing up. It did not happen at all. I was just making a mistake.
Yeah. Well, one thing I heard from my friend is the data can be drifting. That means you ask them 3 or 4 times, they may give you different answers. So because it's all based on learning, also on statistics, right? If they think it's high probability in one time and not the others. So just need to make sure you use your own judgment.
Yeah. Well, anyway, well, it was fun and thank you for the opportunity to present.
Yes. Yes. So yeah, thanks again, and hope to see you soon in person. And
Yeah.
we've been doing a Zoom meeting for a long time, but hopefully maybe
Hey,
quarter of first year we can do in-face meeting.
well,
Yeah.
yes, definitely. And I'm always up for a good coffee chat. So
Yeah. I haven't had much time to do networking. So normally we run into each other in a networking event, but we got to shut down for 3 years.
yeah. So anyway, well, I'll have to make it back to a tag meeting. So here you go, highlighting tag. Those were supposed to be fun.
All right. Okay, thank you. Have a good
Thanks,
evening.
Elizabeth.
Bill, yeah, anything to end this meeting? Bill or Louis?
Nope, I think it was a great presentation. Thanks.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I feel overloaded. I need to
Yeah, thanks.
relook this stuff and expand into my big TV so I look at those small letters. So we're older people. We have seeing problem. We have eyesight problem.
I could have expanded the text. I'm sorry. You should have
No,
just.
it's okay. We can expand the TV screen. Yes, no
Okay.
problem. All right. Okay. Thanks again, everybody. Thanks for attending. See you in August. Some of you. Okay. Okay. Thank you again, Elizabeth.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.